Alright lads, welcome back again, and today I ask you fellas a question. Who doesn't love a great archer volley? In the medieval period, for more than 200 years, ranged units and especially archers helped to dominate the battlefield. From the Battle of Crecy to Agincourt and beyond, archers wielding longbows made a stunning impact in warfare, and in this series we'll step back into time, sally forth with an army comprised entirely of ranged units, and seek out glory across the lands of Calradia. Now, we won't just be standing there trading volleys in this series. We'll explore the tactical opportunities these unique units provide for an experienced commander in Bannerlord seeking to win hugely outnumbered battles and learning savage new tricks to decimate our foes and send them to an early grave. In war, there are no rules, but in this episode we only have one rule: ranged units only in our army, and let's bring forth all challengers. Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially advanced field command and battlefield tactics. And we have a new series here. Surprise, surprise. You guys shouldn't be surprised by now. I love branching out into new areas. We are running all archers. We are going to have a little side series here demonstrating some savage archer tactics. We have an entire army here, 358 men, including about a dozen companions of varying strengths. Some are weak like this gal, and some are incredible gods of war like this gal, Gweth. This is one of my sisters, and she is a total savage badass with 330 bow skill. Now, our entire army is archers, right? And to that respect, so is Zuvan. I normally use javelins when I play, but we're going to use a two-handed hammer in this episode, in this series. And we're also going to use bows, right? Now, I'm going to be the only person on horseback for my entire army, and that's primarily so that I can command my units, but also you, as a viewer, don't get sort of clogged up in the mire of troops all over the place. Guys, elbows and assholes right in your face. You can't see shit. It's going to make things difficult for you if I fight on foot the whole battle. Now, I might get on foot at certain times, and as you can see, we only have 5 Battanian Fiend champs. We're still upgrading this army. I just sort of threw this together. We took a castle, or a city rather, and now we're looking to upgrade some of these guys, because what I really need in an all-archer army is some guys that can sort of stand in as infantry, right? I need some squares. I need some shield walls. I'm going to have enemy cav and infantry trying to charge us and attack us, and so we're going to be looking to upgrade some Valandian units in particular. Now, we took Saneopa, and we're just kind of in the middle of the map here. That way there's a wide variety of enemies that are going to attack us, and this probably will work for a first battle here. We want a big challenge, and right off the bat we get a 2-to-1 challenge here by this Battanian force. Says thinking. I'm not sure what they're thinking about other than dying. And as you can see, they're actually a very strong force. Now, ironically, for Battania, it's not very many ranged troops. 116 out of 687. That means like 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 are archers. They actually have a lot of infantry and cav, which is fine for us, right? We're going to fight all kinds of armies in this sub-series, in this mini-series. And it's not going to be played out like a literal campaign. Of course, I'm just using this as a side branch of my main campaign. And we're doing that so we can skip the drudgery of running around with looters and stuff like that, throwing rocks at people. We'll be jumping right into elite tactics here, and this is a good battlefield for our first battle. There's a lot of open space. There's a lot of trees and landscape and hills to use. As you can see, right, Division 1 is archers, Division 2 is archers, Divisions 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is all archers. Now, what I'm going to do is divisions, let's see, probably first, second, and fourth will all be quasi-infantry divisions, and I get that by using the little shield icon in the unit preferences. And what that does is when you zoom in, you see a lot more Valandian crossbow and whatnot instead of archers, right? So I'm going to have 2 or 3 specific divisions that are divided into the purpose of playing more defensive roles, sort of being the targets while the rest of our archers kill the enemy. You don't have to do this, but I think what we're going to do in this series is basically push the envelope, as all of our series, on what's possible, right? We're going to challenge some huge, difficult foes here. We're going to challenge armies with large amounts of cavalry and try to destroy them them with archer squares. We're going to try, you know, being outnumbered 3-1 by infantry, etc., using nothing but archers. I have a lot of faith that we can do some dynamic tactics here because archer strategy is my primary skill set. I would say if there's one thing that I'm really good at, it's using archer armies. So the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. I might reduce the 7th at some point. Right now I have 4 different main archer killing divisions and 3 different defensive divisions. Now you notice the banners pair up with that, right? This guy's actually, look at the bow skill, right? This guy's got shitty bow skill, but decreased taken melee attack damage, he'll help the square. Now she obviously has elite bow skills, and notice the banner, increased troop movement speed. I want my archer units that are going to be kiting and killboxing, right? The process of a killbox is definitely going to be something we show on this in this series. I want these units moving quickly, right? That way, if infantry's bearing down on them, these guys all move 30% faster than the enemy, and even if the enemy's not in shield wall, they should be able to escape. All right, so the enemy's a very long ways away here, so this will give me another 30 seconds to basically tell you about this series, but also to get set up. I know there's a ridge over here to the left. I think we'll try to use this. I think at the beginning we'll try to use the elevational advantage of this ridge and fire down into the valley on the enemy, right? That'll give us, you know, a nice weakening effect on their forces as they come in, and then we'll run over to the other side here and do a peekaboo ridge. Now this series, right, I'm not going to be running around doing tournaments and showing you how to manage the fiscal budget and stuff like that. We're not going to have any budget issues because we're going to kill every single army that comes in front of us, or at least I hope so. I do have 3 companion armies that have the makings of all archer armies. In other words, they have a bunch of scrubs, but they also have no infantry. Now, every once in a while, you know, I'll have to go into my companion armies and basically micromanage them. And by the way, that's where we're going to pull back to, that area there. I can only say so many things at once. Look at this gal here. Are you the scout? Here, I got a message for your Jarl, or whatever he is. Don't come back. Actually, do come back. We want you guys to come on in. That was a lucky shot there. I am not a good horse archer. Anyways, so the purpose of this series is basically to show you larger and larger and more dynamic battles where the primary tactic we're going to use is archers. Primary unit we're going to use is archers, right? You can see how bad here my archery skill is. So we are going to try a variety of different things, right? There's actually a lot of tactics that you can do with archers, and of course in a wide variety of circumstances, right? We'll probably try a couple castle defenses. You know, we'll probably have 8, 10, 12 episodes here depending on the popularity, and we will push the bounds on what is possible with an all archer army, including, you know, how bad I can possibly shoot. Let's shoot some guys in the back here. All right, so the enemy's coming up to us, and we're not really going to be holding fire very often in this series, at least until we have really big battles. In episodes like this, where it's, what is it, 690 or something, we're going to be able to absolutely smoke this army with tactics. All right, so they do have a bunch of cav coming in. Now, for those that frequent the channel, you guys know that cavalry is not strong enough as it should be. In fact, I ran various tests where sharpshooters in the open basically mauled things like Imperial Elite Cataphracts, right? This is not how it should be, but that's how it is in Bannerlord, right? So we already know archers are tough. That said, one way to get your archers destroyed, or in this case, or if you're trying to attack, and I'm going to be moving my guys back in square here, is to attack with melee and cav at the same time. If you can disrupt the enemy with your cav and then get your melee in there, your infantry units will maul archers. So that's what I've got to watch out for here, and the enemy vanguard is moving up. So we're going to start to kite. See this big force of Battanians here. We're going to do some damage at the beginning here, and now we're going to start bringing our squares back as we start to pull over this ridge. This ridge here is going to give us a peekaboo ridge effect, a reverse slope decline defense. They're the same thing, and we're going to start placing units on the far side there. And what's going to happen is that the enemy comes over this ridge. They're going to be confronted with shield wall crossbowmen, squares of crossbowmen, and absolutely withering archer fire, right? I've got these, it's actually 5 offensive divisions right now of crossbow. You see they're starting to collapse on our square. We're going to suffer some losses there, but I'm moving the square too, right? So those guys won't be annihilated. So meanwhile, you know, we're going to get our units over the edge of this ridge. This prevents the enemy archers also from being involved in this. Now, I didn't actually look, but I don't actually think they have a lot of Battanian Fiend champs. Maybe they have a dozen or something like that, but I don't think it's going to matter. Already the death spam is bad. As the enemy comes over the ridge here, they get completely shot to pieces. We're losing troops, right? As we move, we're going to get guys killed. They're moving, they're holding up their shield and doing the best they can, but of course they're being totally zerged here by the enemy. That said, once the enemy gets to this ridge, it's going to be goodnight Irene, right? They are going to be completely obliterated. They're walking into the face of 300 and something archers all unloading at the same time in a small area, right? So it's just machine gun fire on a small doorway. You can see them all set up already. They're going to start just unloading, and you see our formations here. Now we want to pull our units slightly over the hill. That way the enemy comes over the hill and takes that that withering fire. You can just see it's a constant stream of bolts and arrows flying up to the ridge, right? Nothing's going to be able to survive that. And the death spam shows that, right? It's 8, maybe 10 to 1 green in our favor, right? There's just a huge wave of it right there. Now these infantry divisions, or at least the formerly crossbow, now infantry divisions, can be told to charge, right? We want them actually boring down on the enemy and adding to the enemy misery. Now they're skewering the enemy and attacking them. And as soon as they get over that ridge, they don't even have time to set up any of their units, right? They're immediately smoked by arrows, charged by crossbowmen. We shoot our own guy here a little bit. We haven't killed one of our own guys yet, I think. And the enemy is in a very bad situation, right? They're not going to be able to come over this ridge, plain and simple. That said, we'll start to kite with our units. Some of our closest units will start to move these guys back a little bit, just to give them a layer of protection. But this battle is virtually already over, right? You can actually look up at the power bar, and the enemy's down over half its troops, and we're barely dented. They're starting to regroup, probably for reinforcements, and of course we're going to pound them on the way out. This is why archers are so nasty. Not only are they deadly as you approach them, but they're deadly on the way out, right? These guys are getting smoked on the way out. They're trying to regroup, and they're suffering serious losses. Now, in this series, we're not going to have the advantage of having our cavalry run up and make a big concerted cavalry charge and mow the enemy down. In fact, I'm going to get off my horse frequently. We're going to basically eschew these typical advantages cavalry, even though I have plenty of lords that could jump on a horse and ride these people down. We have dismounted all of my noble units. I got to work on my sniping here. We got to get a little bit better here at archery if we're going to be helping these guys. So at the end of some of these original battles here, initial battles, I'll be doing a little bit of practice. Just shooting some lords in the back, taking some guys out, and working on some longer range accuracy. Their bodies are sliding down the hill here. We'll advance, because now this next attack by the enemy, we want to meet head on, right? Now we have a clear advantage. We want to get the fuck out of here. We want to basically take these guys by the horns and wrestle them to the ground and make them cry for uncle, right? We're going to, as they approach us here, they're going to get withering fire. The degree and variety of strategies you can do with archers is just much, much more so than any of the other units. In fact, it really does seem like the enemy has routed off the battlefield here. I gotta dial in my long range shots. I don't know if you guys out there just routinely hit these shots, but I gotta get this shit dialed back in. All right, so this series we're going to be just wandering around the map. We're gonna try different. We'll try different types of kingdoms, right? We will try attacking a Western Empire force. We'll see if we can get a sturgian, not sturgian. We'll see if we can get a Khazate battle in this series too, right? It'd be interesting to try horse archers with archers only. Of course, we'll play the fearsome Valandians with their ferocious banner knights and stuff like that. We'll give a bunch of different things a try here. Try not to get skewered. Do a little ducking, club some guys down here, and send these guys packing. I think most of the units honestly have routed, and of course that would happen. You know, if you lost 60% of your forces and the enemy was barely damaged, units would rout. Looks like we're gonna have to charge here. That is one thing at the end of these battles. I might even stop battles at this stage and be like, you know what, fellas, we've won this battle. This first battle, I won't do that. I'll play this out. But in battles like this, where it's simply a matter of time, I'll either edit this so that it goes by quickly. You know, we'll 3, 4, 5, 6 times the speed. In fact, I can use the RTS mod in a few of these, and I won't hesitate to do so. And we can just speed up these battles. But in these battles, we're going to be trying to to basically push the envelope of what we can do with archers, right? We're going to really try difficult things. We're going to fight out in the open. We're going to fight, of course, hugely outnumbered, and really see what the capacity is of an all-archer army with tactics. Now, this in a little bit is sort of preparation, I guess you could call it, for another series I'm working on. Yeah, another, what a surprise, right? Another series. I like to have these little specific series for people in case they're looking for something very specific on the channel. And one of the series that I'm getting ready on, of course, is an archer tactical guide, right? It's probably going to be 3 or 4 episodes. And we'll have all kinds of different tactics. We'll show all kinds of concepts related to archers that are important, everything from ammo conservation to the use of crossbowmen, their range, different strengths and weaknesses of units, etc. So this series will be a nice sharpener for me. That way my skill level feels, and already I have a pretty good knowledge base of Bannerlord, of course, but that way my skill level and understanding of archers is to a heightened level, so that I can give you guys the best content out there. That's what we're striving for here, is to feed you guys content, and that's what we're gonna do. All right, so this wraps up this battle here. The rest of the map of Calradia better be shaking in the boots, because we lost 33 troops against 700. Put them in the dirt, and we lost. I mean, what is that, a kill ratio of like 20 to 1, 15 to 1? So we're off to a good start here, right? We got some companions that had like 10 bow skill, that have a lot of skill points in bow, so they're going to be leveling up bow fast. So our units are going to be getting stronger. Not to mention all these weak level Battanian archers eventually will be Battanian Thean champs. Now I'm not going to fight with an army of 500 Battanian Thean champs. There's plenty of videos out there on that. None of these prisoners are any good to us. We're not going to take infantry, of course. Look at all the upgrades we got. A massive amount of upgrades. And that's another major advantage of archers, right? They upgrade very easily because their survivability is high. And that means that they're doing damage, gaining experience, and not getting killed. In very many ways, archers are overpowered in Bannerlord, and it's one of the reasons I suggest that most players seek between, I would say, 35 and 50% of their army to be archers. I don't think 50% is too much. If you know how to use them, I think they can be devastating in battle. So a huge amount of upgrades here that's just going to make us stronger for the next fight. I'll probably try to produce one of these episodes every 3, 4, 5 days, and we will have another side series to explore. So let me know what you guys think of this. It's going to be fun for me to sort of explore and push the edges of the archer-only capacity. Like I said, I'm not going to play this out like a real campaign. I'm not going to try to conquer the map with archers. But what I will try to do is fight with archers in a wide variety of scenarios, right? We will have some massive battles with these 3 other companion armies. We're going to have some, I don't know, 800 or 900 all archers. And that'll be really interesting to fight some massive battles. I think at some point, too, I will try to use the battle size mod, and we will fight some armies of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, so that you get like these gigantic sprawling battles where we have 800 archers, 700 archers, and they have 1,300 troops, you know, cav, infantry, and archers in these epic cinematographic battles. You can see I'm going to gather up a companion here. I'm basically going to increase the size of our army each episode, right? So that eventually 4, 5, 6 episodes in, you will see us marching around with 800 archers. All right. I'm going to wrap this up before I talk you to death. I appreciate you fellas. We've got a brand new Griff here. I just noticed this guy. This is one of my first sons with this new wife. So this guy, we'll get him in some equipment, add him to the army, and we'll be ready to go. You can see here he's brand new out the gate, but ready to learn from our army. Hopefully you're ready to learn. Hopefully guys are going to be entertained by this series, and hopefully you guys subscribe and come back regularly. I appreciate you fellas. Please comment. Make criticism comments. If you want to see a specific type of battle with archers, right, a specific situation that you either find hard or you're just curious how badly we can devastate certain forces in a certain situation with our archers, let me know, fellas. I check the comments on a regular basis, and I'm very interested in providing what you guys want, right? Like I'm one of those free thinkers who actually listens to the people watching the channel. So with all that said, fellas, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you fellas, and I will see you guys next time.